Hello AMJ travelers. Today I'm going to walk through the process for securing your space on the group trips. There is a sign up process and a payment portal, so we'll walk through all of that plus the email chain that you will get. So first you can just come here to the main page and say view all trips. Today we will practice with the Dubai trip because that is one that still has a little bit of space on it for this year, 2023. So there's a few things I want to point out before we actually book the trip. When you scroll down, you'll see a couple details. It's photo friendly, the dates, how many people are going to be on the trip, the weather. And this trip is different because you can do an optional time of 7 days or 11 days, depending if you want to add on the Maldives edition. Then you'll scroll down, you'll see a short blurb about the trip, some photos of the amazing things we're going to be experiencing, and a few things to make sure you read before securing your place. COVID vaccination, that is important depending on where we're going. This trip does not require one, so that's good. And this note about payment. There is a deposit required for every single trip. The deposit is $500 unless I run a special with discounted deposits, and all payments, including deposits, are non-refundable. And because everything is non-refundable, travel insurance is advised. And everything is non-refundable because I negotiate rates with the vendors and I have to make payments along the way that are not refundable. Then once you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see what is included in the trip, what is not included in the trip. So be sure you read that before you actually book. And then when you come down here, you'll see the link to learn more about the travel insurance and the terms and conditions and frequently asked questions. So once we do all that, you can either go back to the top or you can select here to get into the actual booking part of the trip. So this is the order page. And this is where it will calculate how much is due for the trip and what payments you're going to break it down into. Everybody's payment plan is different, so I'm just going to select the most payments because most people divide it out into the smallest monthly payments as possible. So first things first is how many people are you specifically paying for. Most people are only paying for one. Sometimes people may pay for their partner, so 2. We'll go with 1. Because that is the majority way that people book. Occupancy, if you have a roommate, you'll select double. If you do not have a roommate, you'll select single. And there is always an upcharge for not having a roommate. So be sure that you are mindful of that before committing to the trip. And we'll go back to double because the majority of people will always do double. And for the Maldives, this is optional, so you don't have to select this. But if you are going to the Maldives, the additional price for the Maldives are right here. Again, single, double. And if you want an overwater bungalow or no overwater bungalow, the choices are yours there. But we'll stick to the base package of double occupancy for just going to Dubai. Then you scroll down, you pick how many number of payments you want to do. We're going to go with 8 payments. And you'll see here that $500 is due today, and the remainder of your payments are due once a month for $475. Now you see that this last payment here is due on October 2nd, and the trip is in October. So this October option will fall off soon, and these are automatically updated throughout the process. So then if you, let's say, book this trip in 2 months, the only available payments are going to be 6 payments, which again is $500 deposit and then $633 a month. So I'm going to go with the 8 payments option. And this note down here is super important because once you complete this page, you will get 2 emails sent to your inbox, and most of the time it goes to junk mail. So please be sure to check your junk mail for anything from Mickey@amjgetaways.com. Okay, so now we'll go back up to the checkout page. We will complete the checkout and place the order. Okay, so after you submit payment, and it will take you to this page. Now this is the point where you need to check your email, and the email will come from Mickey@amjgetaways.com. Okay, and if you have Gmail, the email will show up like this in your inbox, AMJ Getaways Group Trip reservation. And mine came to my inbox, not to my junk mail, but please be sure to check both mailboxes because depending on how your mailbox is set up, it could go to either one. And then you'll make sure you click on RSVP. And this is super important to click on RSVP because this is where I get all the information that feeds over to your flight and your hotel reservation. And now we are at the RSVP page, the reservation page, and be sure to fill this information out for what name shows up on your passport. If you put a nickname in, that's the name that goes onto your flight, and we will not be able to change it unless there are change fees paid for changing a name. So be sure to enter this in appropriately. The group ID, that's optional. Departure date, departure city. For your departure city, if you're not leaving from St. Louis, be sure to put your departure city in there. If there is a trip that specifically says the group departure is only from St. Louis, you can put another city, but we still will only be departing from St. Louis on the group flight. Then fill in your birthday and all this other good stuff here. If you have a roommate, make sure you put their name. If you do not have a roommate and you select double and you still don't have a roommate by the time of the trip, you will be charged the difference for not having a roommate. And if you also want a roommate but don't have one, just say, pair me with someone or something of that sort. And when the reservations come through, I'll know to pair you in the reservations. The bedding selection, this is really just for if there's two people in a room. With people that are married, it's easy to tell a king bed. People that are just dating or not married, whatever. Sometimes if you don't specifically spell it out, I won't know to request a king bed or two beds from the hotel. The payment option, this is pretty self-explanatory. Either all you guys are paying together or separate. For the most part, for the group trips, you're going to be paying in one portal, so it's going to automatically be a trip total, and you guys can divide that up for yourself. Children information is not necessary here because children are not allowed on the group trips. If you have TSA pre-check or global entry, this is where you will want to enter that information to be sure that you get your information carried over to your flight. But if you don't put it in there when you put your reservation, it is okay. When you get to the airport for check-in, they can add it right then and there, and you'll still get the perks when you get to security. Airline rewards numbers, be sure to put any that you have in. We will never be flying on Southwest, so there's no need to put a Southwest number in here. But if you have a number for American Airlines, Delta Airlines, United Airlines, all of those type of airlines, go ahead and put them in the airlines number here. Special requests, if you have a dietary specification that you need to list out or any physical limitations that you need to list, be sure to put those here. Seat preference, go ahead and let me know what you prefer, so when the airline is assigning seats, I can be sure that you get the ones that you want if it's available. And then at the end of the form here, it's just a few things that are in the terms and conditions for people that may or may not read the terms and conditions. These are required. The deposits are not refundable. The reservation is not confirmed until the deposit has been submitted. Sometimes, somehow, people submit these reservations and the payments don't go through, but that does not mean that your reservation is confirmed. Payment has to be received for the reservation to be confirmed. And also, this is the commitment to meet the payment deadlines, which are monthly, and failure to meet these monthly deadlines will result in your trip being canceled, and there are no refunds. So again, travel insurance is highly suggested. Okay, so now I've put some information in here and I'm going to hit submit. All right, now you get another confirmation page. Okay, so now that we have completed the reservation, you'll get another confirmation, and the next step is to gain access to the payment portal. So again, you'll want to be sure to check your junk mail for an email from Mickey at amjgetaways.com. Okay, the other important email you will receive is titled "The Information You Requested, Confirmation Needed." This email is super important because this is the email that you will need to access the payment portal. So once you search your inbox or your spam folder, once you find this, you'll want to click on the links in the email because that will trigger your portal to be activated. And this is not something where I can just send you a link and you can log into the portal. You have to go through the email sequence to be able to trigger it. So after you click on the links, you will be able to get the email to enter the portal. Then when you log into the portal, it will have the trip that you are paying on as an invoice number right here. And if you have multiple trips that you're paying towards, they will all be listed here. And you can click pay now. that will take you to the invoice, and the invoice has all the details that you selected during the checkout process, and it has how much you will be paying per month and the due dates each month. Then when you go back up to the top, you can select make a payment, and here you can select to make the $475 payment, which is down here, or you can select to pay more, whatever you choose, as long as it's paid by the due date of each month. And when you go in here, there will be the existing card that you did your deposit with, and so that you'll see there. But if you want to change your card, you can select on pay with new card, or you can connect it to PayPal, whatever works for you, and you can change it from time to time if you want to. Then when you submit the payment, it will reflect on your invoice down here, and you can go in and do this each month. You can do it more than once if you want to, but this is the way to get into the payment portal. And if you're paying on multiple trips, you can do the same thing. Just go back to the invoices and they'll all be listed here. Now that you've completed the registration process and signed up for the trip in the payment portal, you can go in there and make payments at your own frequency. And I will send communications via email as the trip gets closer. More about 3 to 2 months out is when I really start sending communications about the itinerary and details like that. Now, be sure to follow us on YouTube, because we will be posting all sorts of reviews of destinations and recap videos from each of the trips. So make sure you subscribe, and I hope to see you on a trip soon.